Hello, my name is Peter Parfitt. Welcome to the New Brick Workshop. In this video I'm going to be doing my pressure washing for the beginning of the season, and I'm using my K2 Karcher. I don't know why I've not used it before in a video, but anyway, I've had it for a while, and here we go. However, I'm also using this thing. It's called a T-Racer, and it's rather nifty neato because it's got three functions, and two of them I've been using. One is it's using it in the normal way with the pressure water coming out from below, but also there's another way where you can make it spray water out at the end here, which is great for cleaning up. Now, the whole idea of this video is to give you some tips. It's not really about the pressure washer, although I must say I'm really pleased that I got this one, but it's just a few little tips on how to go about pressure washing. Let's take a look. Now, although using this T-Racer gadget here makes it look pretty simple and easy, you've got to remember, you know, some of this dirt and grime and all the rest of it is really embedded. So don't expect it to be quite as simple as sometimes it appears. You may have to go over the old spot several times, and if then you still have something you're not happy with, then use the dirt blaster or something else. But some slabs like this are easy. And you see these swirls here? Well, underneath here there are rotating brushes, and the water is only coming out from the ends. So as you move this along, so it's rotating and it's producing this spiral mark. If you go too fast, you can see it's very obvious spirals, but if you go a little slower and do a couple of shots, it's then fine. Now, a lot of people have written to me and they say, look, whenever I use my pressure washer, I get into a complete muddle because the hose going to the gadget, the hose that's attached to the tap, and the electricity cable all seem to get all mixed up. Well, here's my advice. If you imagine the pressure washer is at the center of a circle, and in the half of the circle which is over here is where I'm going to operate with this. And it's got a long hose on it, so I can go off in that direction by 10 meters, 10 meters, and 10 meters. So it's a big area. My electricity comes into this from this quarter circle here, and the mains water comes in from that quarter circle there. And everything is separated and it doesn't get mixed up. And when you move this, just try and replicate this idea. Power, mains water, and operating area. It's as simple as that. And remember what I said about keeping all the hoses and the wire for the power and that all tidy. Well, when I get to this stage going down a narrow path, I just move everything that way. Start with the pressure washer, going down here, and I can see how far I can go because I can see I'm still connected to where I left off. Then I'm just going to tidy up the hose by pulling it down this way to there, and the power lead. And you can see I've put the cable right out of the way. I've tucked it over the top of this fence, and it then comes down into here on top of this low wall where I've got the actual box. Now, one thing I would like to point out is that if you've got an electric reel like this, you should always
undo all of the cable from it, because if you leave it wound on there, then it can cause a heating effect in the middle, and in worst case it can actually catch fire. Now, I never believe anyone when they say that a cable or a hose pipe is kink free, but I must tell you that this particular bit of hose pipe coming from the Karcher to its tool, I haven't been able to kink it yet, because every time I pull it like that, the kink disappears. But don't trust it, like me, don't trust it, always check, because if you get a kink in a hose, even if it's just your ordinary garden hose, it can be a real nuisance. But this is, I'm sure, absolutely kink free. Now, the only bit of assembly on this machine is this bit of netting here. It's got an elastic piece that goes all the way around the outside. And all you do is you feed the elastic bit over these little clips. And then that makes a little netting enclosure. And all you do is you wind up the mains lead after you've finished using it. Reasonably small and tight. Nice, neat little bundle, simple as that. And then we're going to shove it in there. In it goes. And that's electricity taken care of. Now, do make sure at the end of the day, before you disconnect it from the power, to turn the water off, disconnect the hose, and then run the machine for no more than 20 seconds. And that will then drain the majority of the water out of the machine. Then you can loop everything up like this, tidy away the electricity lead, and then put the machine away. But even though you've made an effort to drain the water out, I would still recommend you don't store it anywhere where the frost can get at it, because that's not the best of things to do. Now, I didn't really mean to show this hose reel, but it's the first time I've used it whilst I've been pressure washing. And I must say that actually I'm really pleasantly surprised, because it's so versatile. But a lot of people complain that hose reels like these can be really difficult when you try and reel the hose in. Well, this is what I do. Rather than having a long length of hose stretching out there, before I try and wind it, I go all the way up here, grab a piece of hose, and bring it down to here. And now it's not pulling such a big weight, and it's so much easier. But this hose reel has another trick up its sleeve. This hose reel comes with these two clips which you fit onto the wall. You want to bring all the hose in, just wind it up quick as you like, and that's it, done. And it can stay there. Super. Many thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.